roars. No, we can go all day.
Calvin.
Let's wait all day.
I ain't make you wait too long now.
Calvin Watkins, Dallas Morning News. How have you seen Joe Milton grow since he first got here?
Yeah, I mean, a ton. Obviously, when he first got here, it was early in the offseason, went through a throwing deal and just watched the arm talent. And so from there, it's just about really just picking up the offense. And just as naturally as anybody in a new system is going to take some time, and that was in the OTAs. But then he came back and obviously picked it up fast in the OTAs, but came back, and you could tell in the time off how much time he put into it as we got back into training camp, and just continuing to grow and showing how much he has taken in the offense and how comfortable he's gotten with it. And then the biggest thing that I've seen him take steps from, and something that I push him, is just the time clock of playing every play and snaps like a real game, and whether it's throwing it away or getting to the next play, getting to your next read. And I think today is actually one of his best days, and he had a lot of plays out there that may not have been, something that you guys write about, but they were very much on time clock, and whether, the receivers got to go get to that or something else that you wouldn't have seen. But he's grown a lot, and a very, very talented player.
Fast guys like to challenge each other in races. He's got the arm. Have you guys said, let's see who can throw it the farthest?
No.
Didn't see a guy like that?
No, I haven't. Honestly, I haven't. And we were talking with Shadi, and I think Shadi said something like he's seen somebody, and we were quick to, who have you seen can throw like that? And he mentioned Brett Favre. So obviously I haven't seen Brett throw in person, but I'm going to put Joe up with any of them.
Clarence Hill, Dallas Cowboys. You haven't played in the preseason since, I think, 2019. Do you anticipate that changing this year?
I don't think I'm playing in this game. I'm not sure, though. But I can tell you that I'd be ready to, if it was this one, the next one, at any point. I think I've mentioned it before. It's not necessarily my call, but especially not having played, since last October, I guess, or was something like that. Yeah, I'm all for playing. Obviously, you got to go out there, you got to protect yourself. But it's football, it's reps. You're never going to see me turn it down. And if they want me to play, I'm more than happy to show them that I can play and get out there and do it.
Well, in the scrimmage against the Rams, I guess practice, that's kind of how you get yourself ready for the season. How you've done that in the past with the scrimmages. Can you assess? We haven't talked to you since that scrimmage. How you guys performed? Certainly, how things are clicking with CD and Pickens.
Yeah, things are clicking. That was fun. It was fun to just compete against somebody else, obviously. Going against our guys here, a new secondary, a new set of DBs. And we did some good things out there. Still left a pass or two out there that I'd want back. But it felt somewhat like, I guess you can say, a game. Obviously we were doing the different periods, and the special teams breaks were a lot longer than it would be just coming off for a possession or not. But we're definitely headed in the right direction. The connection between me and those guys, I don't think is something to even worry about, and it's just going to continue to grow. And I thought it was a good scrimmage. It was one of those ones, I left not feeling great about it. But when you look on film, there was a lot more good than I thought. And it was one of those things, if we actually schemed them, if we actually had a chance to game plan, I would have felt fantastic with the results.
Dak, how Archer these been? It looked like you guys had the shells ready to come out halfway through practice, but a couple guys said players made the call to stay in pads today.
Yeah, Shadi told us today, this morning in the team meeting, we go out there and we be physical, get the pad level right. After the first two periods, we can take them off. And, when that time came, I wasn't taking mine off. They were already, melted on me and ready to go. And I think a lot of guys felt that way. And, credit the guys who made that decision. And it's not a decision for me to make. I'm not necessarily hitting guys. So, I would have said this morning, let's leave them on. But I was very excited watching guys take over, whoever it was, say, no, hell no, leave them on. Offensive guys and defensive guys, I know we're all participating in that movement. So it was good. Hey, we're already in the mix of it. Let's keep them on. You got to play the game with pads. As I said, the worst part about putting on pads is the first 5 minutes. And when they settle on, it's like, this is what we wear anyway. So that was great.
Back to 10 years ago, preseason game against the Rams. And what do you think that meant for you?
Yeah, for me, it was just, for me, it was just a moment of hard work, preparation, and a lot of things just, paying off. And it was me just trying to take advantage of my opportunity. Right there at that point, Ray Kellen had already been hurt, so I knew how important it was for me to go out there and show that, one, I can be the backup if they need me to be, but I can play, and I can play in this offense, and I can execute down the field. And so it was great to even start in that game, as the number 2 quarterback, but playing with the ones and having a few possessions there. And yeah, I remember like yesterday, it was vital. And obviously that was a big part of, them not moving forward and getting a veteran back up that allowed me to just continue out throughout the preseason showing what I could do until, unfortunately, obviously Tony got hurt. And I think without that first game, you're not even thinking twice when Tony gets hurt to bring a veteran in. But when I showed in the first game 1 and 2 and then even continued in 3, they're all important. And it'll be important for some of these guys, obviously, as we get ready for Saturday. Some of these younger guys and some of these guys, maybe in year 2 or year 3 who are looking for bigger roles, these games are huge.
Sorry to bring up Micah Parsons again, but you had a story recently where you talked about sending him a text. You guys are.
That was just profanity.
Yeah. Do you guys talk about any of that stuff out here, or is when you're out here, it's just about football?
Like out on the field, or what do you mean?
Oh, no, I mean like when you guys are like not on the field.
It's come up. It's no different than that text message. I wouldn't have sent that text message if me and him hadn't had a conversation or two, about it, I guess you can say. But those are personal conversations of somebody who's been through what he's going through. And, so that's why, what you read was just me simply saying it was just, a frustration message. And it was more of just like, what's going on? And I want to allude to, the more on the back and forth, which I didn't, and, even to Jory, that those are personal conversations. And it was more of just, as I believe she stated, like, it was just frustration that this is going on. And I can say it from experience that it's just frustrating. And I hate that he's going through it, but as I've told him, keep handling things the way that you are, and I believe he should be paid.
Because you've had that experience being that guy playing in the preseason game for the first time, if a younger player came up to you, what would you give them as your best piece of advice for that, their first time playing in the preseason game?
Yeah, prepare. And the main reason I say that is because you've got to go play free. If you go out there and you're thinking too much, or, man, this is the NFL, I've got to make this, I've got to do that, you've got to do that regardless of what level it's in. Like, that's your job. It's what you've been asked to do with the play that you've been called to make. So, like, don't put more pressure on it because it's the NFL now, or a job's on the line. Like, all of those are like, that's not changing anything regardless. So for me, it's just about preparing your tail off. And so you make sure that you go out there and you can play free, that you're not thinking, you're reacting, you're doing the things that you would do at practice. And the biggest way to do that is, honestly, is to prepare and prepare for everything.
Nick Harris, Forward Star Telegram. Shotty was talking about yesterday how y'all are trying to keep things pretty vanilla. He's only bringing a 7-iron out as far as throwing offensive game plan out there. How can you be prepared for week 1 without the live reps against
Yeah, we're getting them out here. I guess I'm just not getting hit, but they're live reps out there against our defense, and that's why I was, alluding to making sure that, like, I play the play like it's a rep, because I don't want to get out there and, oh, yeah, he would have sacked me, but I'm going to keep the read going, this and that, because that's not real, and it's creating bad habits, and/or I'm not going to try to get the ball out when I'm about to get hit. So we're getting real reps, live reps, and that's a testament today out there in practice of guys why they wanted to leave their pads on is all of these reps are important, and all of these reps are going to lead to game 1, whether we're playing, some of these guys are playing in preseason or not. It doesn't matter. You have to take each rep and play each rep like a game, and so I've been doing that and have done that in the past, so it'll be no difference.
a lot of new guys, a lot of young guys on the defensive side of the ball? I know you've talked about Ezra, but is there anyone else that's kind of made your life hell?
It's just that whole D-line, honestly, up front has been doing a good job of getting after it. I guess I could name a few guys. And not necessarily just rookies. Obviously Maris is popping out on film. Damone Clark's one that's making plays here and there, or continues to make plays every time I look up. It's a lot of those guys, and they're hungry. It's some guys like you're saying, whether it's the rookie like Easy, who I loved. I'm sure y'all sat there and watched it too, right there. Him and LC, right, just learning, continues to learn. That just reminds me of years past of D-Law working with Tyron or whoever it may be, and that's just sharing knowledge that's going to help some of these guys as we keep moving forward. But that defense is hungry, and I'm excited to watch them go out there and play live. Obviously, I didn't get to see them in the Rams, watch some tape, but excited to go watch them live when they can tackle and it's real.
Tommy Arsh, DallasCowboys.com. You've had a couple practices now with Nate, and he had a tough assignment on Tuesday with Verse. What are you seeing from him and the growth that he's taken as he's gotten to run with the ones?
Yeah, a lot of growth, and he's gotten better. And like you said, Verse, tough assignment for anybody. But I guarantee you go back and look at that play, the guy responded to. After maybe getting beat on a play, he'd come back and have some of his best reps. So just the resiliency and the confidence in himself and his confidence of being in that huddle and trying to take ownership in that position is something that I'm more than proud of, and know that for me and these other guys, it's about continuing to pour into him and making sure that he only just continues to grow in that. But he's taking the right approach each and every day.
Joe Hoyt, Dallas Morning News. Shotty gave himself a C- for his play calling during the joint practice. What did you see from him getting back into play calling, and how would you evaluate just your guys' connection in terms of play calling and scripting things so far?
Yeah, I mean, I like how he grades himself tough, but then again, like, he handicapped himself, right? Because we don't want to show things. So I thought he did pretty good, and I know it'll only grow, so it's hard to even give that a big judgment or even a grade as he did, because there's a lot of our offense, and I don't want to say a lot, right? I may be giving it away by even saying a lot, but there's things in our offense that we aren't showing, and that's natural, right? New OC, new changes. We don't want to go out there and say, hey, this is exactly what we're going to be. So I thought he did good, and it'll only continue to grow. And I know that, and you can just tell that from the other day to even today in the call-up period. Yeah, and very, very comfortable in the way that we see the game and the way that we're going to operate together for sure.
You talked about Joe Milton's maybe less heralded plays today, the checkdowns and things he's developing in that regard. For a quarterback, how is the process to get to that point?
It's the preparation, going back to that, right? Knowing your reads, knowing your time clock, and just staying true to it, but also understanding that you're a playmaker, and that's what that time clock means. And sometimes that time clock means, hey, time to go be a playmaker, and sometimes it means I'm wanted to be a playmaker, but there's somebody else coming, and I gotta, call uncle and live for the next play. That it's just playing each practice rep like it's a game, and then making sure that, like, when you're not the quarterback in there, you're still taking those reps. And I know Joe's doing that, and obviously he did that in the Rams, right? The Rams scrimmage. Didn't get many reps after those first two periods or whatever it was, but he was back there taking my reps, and I saw it on film, and we talked about it, and that's real, and that's the only way that you can grow in this position is literally stilling reps. Whether it's you're in there or not, you need to be mentally stilling everyone's reps.
Garrett Bodell, CBS Sports. Dak, you talked about the benefit of being in pads. On the play in which Kenneth Murray and Jake Ferguson collided in the red zone here, what did you see there, and what were your thoughts as Ferguson exited practice?
A competitor, being a competitor, hard to turn off in split-second moments. More importantly, Jake jumped up. Jake dapped him off and said he was good, and we're going to move forward from it.
Christy Scales, Cowboys Radio 105.3 The Fan. In regards to preseason, can you speak to the degree of difficulty for these young quarterbacks beyond being prepared in vanilla offense, but the logistical challenges with you're going to hear a new voice in their ear this year with Schottenheimer. You're going to have rotations and throw into guys
For sure.
that you haven't played with and different line combinations in front of you. How do you describe this preseason action?
Yeah, your resiliency at this position is tested probably more than ever, and you just said it. Really, just because of the revolving door that happens around you, whether it be up front, whether it be the receivers. It's not the guys that you've continuous taking reps with at practice. You may get them for some time, and then they're out, or however that thing goes. That may be a mismatch from one play to another, across the line, and you've got to take that note, and you've got to get the ball out, or you've got to go to the other receiver, or whatever it may be. That it's tough, but what that does is it challenges your resiliency, and that's the whole point of, like, preparing and staying in your game. Like, the guys who make the decisions, the coaches, scouts, they know what playing to the position is and understand. They understand, right, like why you had to call uncle on that. So it's important for you to just prepare and play your game and not get frustrated when things aren't going well. Stay even keel and move on. And I think that's my job as a veteran, or the guys who aren't playing, is making sure we keep these young guys, level-headed, and whether they make a mistake, move on. Like it's not the end of the world. Sure, I know it's preseason. You don't want to make mistakes, and you feel like move on, because you've got a lot of opportunity to make up for that and to put that behind you and to show how great you are. So move on. Play each play independently and know who you are.
Dak, Robbie Feuling, Spectrum News 1. I don't know how much reflecting you do, but just entering your 10th year, I was curious if you could just share the first time you picked up a football, strapped on a helmet, fell in love with the sport.
I don't even know if I have that memory. It's been ingrained in me from well before my memory, I think, started remembering things. I've always loved this game. Having two older brothers, 5 and 6 years older than me, I couldn't tell you the first time that I put a ball in my hand or had a ball. Always loved this game. It's always given me a piece that's hard to compare to. I'll never forget, I guess, going to my brother's first varsity game, and watching the Halton Buccaneers versus the Captain Shreve Gators, and I felt like I was watching the Tampa Bay Bucks versus the Green Bay Packers, just based on the colors and the uniforms. And that may be one of those moments like, yeah, this is what I want to do, and this is what I want to do for forever. But outside of that one particular moment, it's been a love that is unexplainable, that I'm blessed, and just want to make sure that I'm using this game to inspire and to give other people everything that it's given me.
Dak, how did you deal with Jerry and Steven when they tried to engage on contract stuff? Did you just say, give them the Heisman? Did you tell them, did you engage?
Yes, to an extent. I can't say that, and they both will tell you the same. I never engaged in numbers. But there was a lot of engagement, especially on this last one. The first one, maybe not so much of anything, but this last one, yeah, there was definitely some talks, definitely different talks, particularly with Steven, and they were great talks. They were phenomenal talks. Honestly, don't know if I do resign if we don't have those conversations, and it was much more than it was the numbers. So that's why those conversations were needed, and yeah, thankful that we got to that position, honestly. And I don't know if we would have without the contract being in the being up in the air. But what that did is allow us to grow closer and actually create a relationship that's only just been built more and more and more. And so there's ways to go about different things, and for me, yeah, it was necessary to have conversations, but it wasn't about the exact numbers or anything like that, and they knew that I wouldn't have those conversations with them.
Was it because they knew you were just going to say talk to Tyler?
To an extent, yeah, to an extent. I mean, I think you should trust your representation, and that's what they're there for. Simple as that, and don't want to talk about somebody else's situation, but I just think you do. You have to trust your representation, and I think 11's doing that.
Because that balance, because you want to keep a good relationship in-house, but then you have an agent that says, call me to finalize these deals,
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I'm a grown man, and if another man wants to speak to me, I'm going to speak to him, right? And so I think that's where, like, those conversations began and started with me and Steven and the Jones. There were some conversations that needed to happen outside of the numbers and outside of the contract and the language, and whether it be about the building, whatever it may be, that, yeah, I wasn't going to say, hey, no, I don't want to talk to you. Yeah, I'm down to talk, but you can have a lot of conversations and even progress without talking about the exact numbers or even getting into numbers. And so, yeah, it's a balance, but when both parties understand that, hey, we're not even going to go down that road, a lot of things can be handled and talked.
Real quickly, is there a balance? Because a lot of players are showing support for Micah. Certainly, a couple guys changed their Twitter profile pics to Micah, and certainly you voiced support page Micah. How do you balance, supporting your teammate but not come across against the front office, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? How do you balance it? Is it good that players are supporting their teammate?
Yeah, it's great players are supporting their teammate. Yeah, that's a necessity if you believe in that teammate, you know? And so I'm glad that those guys are. And I don't think it's a knock at anyways to the front office. It's a business, and they see things. They have to make decisions. You know, those the same guys are the ones that the front office, I mean, right, or, like, they make the final decisions on all of us. So I don't think just because you're supporting a teammate and you're speaking up for your brother, that means you're saying hell to your parents. You know what I mean? So I think there's a way that showing brotherly love and support for a teammate is just solely that. And you want the best for that guy. And if that means him getting his contract and his money that you think he deserves, then that's that. It's not a knock to who's being forced or being asked to pay that. It's more of, we believe in the guy and we think that he should get that. And as somebody who's been through it, that's my point of the text message. It's just frustrating, right? And at the end of the day, it is business. And we can't make something business personal. And I think when you do that, right, then that's where the division comes. Oh, me supporting Micah says hell with the Jones. No, it doesn't. Like, I support this player, this hell of a player that's doing things the right way, and I think the business part should follow it.
Hard not to make it personal for players. I mean, because
Yeah, it's hard too, for sure, when it's you and you're in the mix, 1,000%. And that's why I say it's frustrating as somebody that's been there. So, yeah, and if you're making it personal and it's not about you, then you're wrong. Like, regardless of whether it's the media, whether it's anyone outside of Jerry and Steven, if it's anyone outside of Micah and maybe his family, right? Like, if you're making it personal there, you're wrong. And mind your business, and you know what I mean? Just get back to supporting that individual and not nitpicking a conversation of business that you don't belong in.
Nick,
When you have seen things become personal, whether it was with you and during your negotiations or with other players, how are you able to find common ground with Jerry and Steve afterward?
The business. It's when the business gets done. And honestly, not this past one, but the first one, there was some tension between me and the Jones. Honestly, going back to after 2020, right? Then I'm playing on the franchise tag. I break my ankle, and I say tension is more of so like we just weren't talking. And honestly, you ask me, yeah, there'd be times I say I'm gonna go this other way, right? Like, and so it had got personal, right? And then you get a phone call. Hey, your agent calls you, we got the deal done, this, and that, you know, you celebrate, and then you get a call right after that from Jerry, and he says, you know, come in the office and we'll sign it tomorrow, but I want you to come in. And you come in, and he alludes to, right, like, that's what happens in business is people get emotional and people make it personal at times. But when that deal happens, like, we can make it go away. You can make the tension, because the tension wasn't personal to begin with. It was over business. And so once that business deal happens, like, you can move forward and you can understand and you can, you know, shit's a lot of money, you know what I mean, that they're hesitant to pay her, or it's a lot of years that they want it shorter, you know. I mean, it's negotiations. And I guess until you've been in them, until you know, whether it's football negotiations, $1 million, or y'all's contracts with other networks, right? Like, regardless, like, this one wants to pay you this much, or the one you're at only wants to pay you this much, you're gonna feel some type of way, right? But when you get your contract, it's over with. Like, it is, and it's over with, and that's natural. And so I think it's fighting human nature of wanting to make something personal and having those selfish thoughts which come. But when you get that deal done, it's time to go.
How quick did it come together this last time?
What's that?
How quick did it come together for you that week leading into that round? Did it come together pretty quick to your knowledge, or was it, like you said, you just got...
No, I was actually out of it. I was out of it as the season started. Those conversations I mentioned that I had with Steven and Jerry were well before the first game, and they knew as the first game even approached, or when we broke from training camp, I wouldn't even have those conversations, and that's why those conversations were so important when we had them, that I trusted my representation, and Todd went and got it done. And I can't tell you that I thought it would get done or I thought that it wouldn't get done. I really actually had moved on in my mind, because I knew I needed to be present for my team, for my game plan, if I wanted to go out there and play well against Cleveland. That I mean, I literally didn't find out until I'm about to get on the bus to go to the game.
Last one, Joe. Dak, trade requests aren't common around here. Does your mind even go to a place yet of Micah Parsons not being your teammate?
No, not necessarily. I think if I wouldn't have been in his shoes and have watched other guys be in his shoes and get rewarded, maybe. But I feel like it was a couple. I feel like it was last year. I've got faith in the Jones and the team, as I do in Mike and his team. So that's who I am, and that's what I'm gonna continue to believe and be optimistic. And 11's a Cowboy.
All righty, thank you, Dak.
Thanks, Dak.